Alrighty guys, the time has come to build my brand new computer. This one I have named Big Red Resurection. I will probably eventually just call it Big Red again, but for the time being, so that people can decipher between the old computer that happens to be over there and this new one that I'm building, I'm calling this one Big Red Resurection. You know, like being kind of reborn, remade, whatever. So anyways, this is going to be the build log. First thing I want to do when I build my computer is install the power supply, because you install and plug in your power supply and it gives you a good grounding point, so you won't have any static on you as long as you keep some sort of contact with the power supply and the case. Which realistically, as long as you're not walking around on carpet or something, which I'm actually walking on carpet but I'm standing pretty still, so as long as you're not, like, you know, purposely trying to build static and you touch your power supply, you'll be fine. Okay, so now we're going to plug the power cable into the wall. Pop that right there. Put that bad boy down. Turn our power supply on. Touch it, and now we are safe to mess with our electronic components. Since this is, by the way, I'm done screwing in the motherboard now, but since this connector, the OC key connector, is like right in the middle of a giant clusterfuck of plugs, I'm going to plug it in right now and run it through the back panel. Okay guys, so after doing that, I think I'm gonna just cut that part out in the video because that took way longer than it should have. I don't know why it took that long, but I've finally got the little cable for the OC key plugged in through the IO shield plate, and yeah, and I don't even know why they really include it, because it doesn't fit very well. Alrighty guys, I'll be back in a few seconds. Alrighty guys, so during that break, I had to take the dog outside, and I also figured out that my upload on YouTube did indeed fail, which is why it was, like, stopped. So I redid that, I put the fans on here, kind of lined up the screws a little bit, and now we're kind of back to building. Alrighty guys, so I need to go do something. I'll be right back in a second. Alrighty guys, I went through the power supply box, got out all of the cables that I'm guaranteed to need, and even some that I just might need. And I'm going to throw those off to the side, and my mom is going to do her little helping part by taking off this one fan, taking out these screws that I, for some stupid reason, screwed in yesterday, and then possibly putting on these two Corsair fans that are left over from my old radiator onto the front to blow air through the hard drives and SSDs and all that other stuff that's going to be in there. So come on in. I can't get the camera perfect, but you can see the line that I made. With an LGA 2011 CPU being as huge as it is, you kind of want a line as opposed to the normal, normally you use like a pea-sized dot, but on a chip this huge, that's definitely not enough to cover it all. And this is going off of many very intelligent PC builders and users' experience, so I'd trust them. There we go, we've got our CPU cooler mounted nice and tight on there. Are you fucking kidding me? I put the wire under the mounting bracket, guys. I guess that's okay, because I also forgot to thoroughly clean the CPU and H100. I cleaned them yesterday, but I'm not sure how well I did that. So now we're going to take this whole thing off. We're going to see how good of a job that first thermal compound job actually did. And then we're going to redo this. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. We take off the cooler and we find out that that was not enough thermal compound actually. That did not quite cover the entire CPU. And the screws were all the way down, so it's not a matter of pressure. It's a matter of I actually put on slightly too little, which, considering what I did the first time I ever built my computer, that's a surprise that I didn't put on enough this time. Once again, guys, if everything goes as planned, this cooler will be coming off, like, hopefully before Christmas time, or probably definitely before March. As long as everything goes to plan, that is. I'll be getting, like, a K-Slabs STH10 with some frickin' baller water cooling. That's how much thermal compound I put on this time. I put on very slightly less last time. So that's actually off center, so I might add a little bit more off to the right. And because I definitely want to get some good thermal compound dispersion. Alrighty guys, so up here, as you can see, I have sorted out the fan cables for the radiator. I've plugged all 4 of them into my little Corsair Link Commander module. Although, these ones aren't plugged in all the way for some reason. Okay, so now I've plugged in all 4 of the fans into the Corsair Link module. I'm eventually going to double-sided sticky tape it right about somewhere up in here, depending on what wiring fits and stuff. I've also hooked up the Corsair Link wire to the H100. I wasn't going to do that on camera because it's like tucked away now that I've installed the H100, so yeah. And so now what we're going to do, I've got 2 SSDs here. I've also got the 2 mounting sleds. So the first thing that I had to do is I have to take out these little, it comes with like mounting things for 3.5 inch drives. And it also has holes for 2.5 inch drives. But if you want to put in a 2.5 inch drive, the 3.5 inch pins get in the way. So I've taken those out. And the SSDs come with their own screws. And my mom's going to install these, and I need to tell her how to do it and all that. So I'm going to get the screws out real quick for you guys here. And I'm going to show her what to do. And then I'll come back and record that when she's actually installing these. Alrighty guys, I took both the SSDs out of the box and showed my mom exactly what she's doing, so now she's going to install the 2 SSDs on the bracket. Go right ahead. Okay, so at this point, what I think we need to do is start running power wires, as much as I hate running power wires. So I'm actually going to stop the tape for a little bit so I can plan out what I want to do and see if there's any places where I can have my mom help me in this anymore. Because I think it's kind of nice to have her make some little guest appearances in this build. So anyways, I'll be right back, guys. Alrighty people, I'm back from that quick little break. And still haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to have my mom help with, but I will figure out a way for her to help at some points during this. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to install my DVD drive again, and then we're going to start wiring up more things. Now we will probably get our 2 CPU power connectors, and I think I can actually have my mom route these because these are pretty simple. So I'm going to go get her and we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, my mom is about to install the 4 and 8 pin EPS power connectors into the motherboard. So mom, go ahead. So now guys, I'm going to move back into my domain and I'm going to straighten out some of these cables, run some of the rest, maybe put in the cards, you know. Eventually all this will happen, but it just depends on the order. So now I'm going to move back to my domain and I'll be back in a second. Alrighty people, so after that break, I forgot what I was even talking about before the video. But I got out the rest of the Corsair power supply cables, and also, if you didn't know, which you probably should have because I've mentioned it so many times, I've got the Corsair Link kit in here, which is what I will be using to interface with the AX1200i. I'm not going to use the included adapter. So anyways, I've got that, and I got the lighting and cooling kit, but I've never used the lighting. Mainly because I totally forgot to install it the first time, and then I never wanted to rip apart my entire assembled system to put in the Corsair lighting kit. So now that I'm completely rebuilding my system, I'm going to put this little module in here, which is the lighting node, and some of these, which are the lighting strips, and we'll have to find some places to put those. One that I'd like to kind of do is down here, which would shine onto the power supply. Realistically, I don't think I'll be able to wire that because, yeah, the included extension cords are not that long. So I'd have to kind of run it like all the way back behind to the motherboard tray, and that's not going to happen. But one of the main ones that I want to do is I want to put one somewhere up in the optical drive area, because with this case, there's a hot swap. It's not really that hot swap because you have to undo screws to get it out, but there's a hot swap hard drive cage, and in front of it, it's got a panel. This goes in a 5.25-inch bay, and it's got some slits for airflow. But conveniently, if I were to somehow mount a light behind here, the light would shine out of that, and I could use that to tell me the temperature of the CPU or whatever. Unfortunately, the Corsair Link is not even that accurate in its temperature readings, but it would still give me a bearing of how hot or cold my system is. So I'm going to try to integrate that during this build if I can at all. But right now I need to wire up the fans, I need to wire up the hard drives and optical drive, I need to run power to the hard drives, optical drives, and SSDs. I need to plug in the graphics cards and run power to the graphics cards, and anything else that I noticed that I have not plugged in along the way. Alright people, as you can see, we've switched to a back view of the case, and what I'm going to be doing now is a lot of the cable plugins and cable management. One of the quick things that I'm going to do is I am going to hook up this fan right here. This is the rear case exhaust, in case you're getting disoriented with me turning the case off. This is the back. So I'm going to take the rear exhaust and I'm going to plug it in to the Corsair Link, because I'm going to set it so that like when the cooler speeds up, it blows the hot air out of the back more efficiently, so it doesn't get trapped in the case or anything like that. guys, I put all the front panel wires into the Asus Q Connect. I also used some electrical tape to keep the wires together because some of these don't fit on very tight and they were kind of pulling out of the connector. So I'm now going to have them all like attached together so they kind of rely on each other for strength or whatever. Alright people, and I'm back, and I decided that I'm going to put the graphics cards in before having my mom run the cables to them, because it wouldn't make sense to run the cables, put the graphics cards in, and then plug the cable into the graphics card. So I've got my two graphics cards down here, and first I'm going to take out the brackets to the slots that these graphics cards use. Alright guys, so my mom is now going to send the PCI power cables back through and up into the graphics cards, and she's even going to plug them in for me. Go right ahead. Epicness. Yay. Okay, so this time for real, now I'm going to take a break and see what I want to plug in next. Be right back, guys. Alright guys, so I evaluated what I had not finished yet, and really, I only need to plug in some SATA power, some Molex power, the Corsair Link lighting kit if I decide to do that right now, and some thermal temperature sensors for the Corsair cooling kit if I decide to put those on right now, and some fans to plug in. So really, that sounds like a lot because there's a lot of different items there, but the actual workload is going to be pretty low. So now I'm going to shut the camera off, I'm going to back the camera up, I'm going to move the computer and put on the top and front panels and also this side panel, since obviously this one's not going on. But I'm going to close it up a little bit, and then I'm going to at least see if it'll post for me on camera, and then off camera I'm going to try to install Windows tonight, and we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, I decided not to move the computer across the desk, but I did install the OC key on the back in hopes of diagnosing any possible problems. Hopefully there won't be any reason to diagnose. My mom's going to turn on this computer. We're going to see if it boots. We're going to really hope it boots. She's going to press the button, and then I'm going to quick move over here to the screen. So yeah, go ahead, press the button. We have loud noises, which is, oh my god, look at that. The tissue on my thing is moving. That's amazing. Oh, I better catch this quick. I forgot to turn the stupid... I forgot to turn the DVI on the monitor. Oh, keyboard's getting signal, that's good. Monitor's still blank. It posted. I'm so happy. Okay, anyways, I need to clear up these cables, which will happen tomorrow. By the way, apparently none of the power cables or SATA cables came loose to any of the drives in the back, which was one of my fears, because everything has been recognized right there. So yeah, I'm really proud that it posted. For some reason, I was kind of scared that it wouldn't. So I mean, that shows the confidence in my work, but luckily it posted. We're all good to go. All the fans seem to be spinning up. So anyways, yeah guys, this has been the really long build. Actually, I'm going to have to turn this beast of a computer around to show you guys the insides one last time. I can't just leave you like that. Ooh, I just pulled the power. That's so bad. So here we've got lights. By the way, we've got our little post error code number up there, which obviously I'm going to assume that 64 means BIOS something error, mainly because I haven't set up the BIOS before, and that's what it's saying on the screen. So I'm going to try my very best to put Windows on this tonight so I can offload all these files onto some of the storage. But it's kind of hard because I have to set up the RAID at the same time. So anyways, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll do a part 2 where I organize the cables. I'll do it when Windows is installed. I'll do some overclocking on it, stability testing, maybe some gaming. I'll definitely do some performance benchmarks. So yeah, instead of zooming in on the post readout, I think I'll zoom out and give you guys an overall view of the system one last time. If you enjoyed this video, which I really hope you did, because of the amount of effort I'm going to have to put into editing this thing, it'll be at least a week worth of editing. But if you enjoyed it, please click that like button. And also leave me a comment telling me what you thought of the video. Feel free to leave multiple comments. You know, because this is a long video, there's multiple things you might want to cover in comments, so feel free to leave multiple comments. It actually does help me out more. And if you want to see more of my videos, please click that subscribe button. Normally I would say including the build log, but the build log's done, so we'll definitely have to figure something else out to cover though. Anyways, thank you all for watching. See you later.